Hope you're doing well. I'm going to ask something of you because obviously uh, I'm trying to be silenced here on YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind, if you like what I got to say, hit the like button and share this video. I know all these other people say to ask you to do that. And I said I won't do that. But I mean, I've gone down to almost one, two, three views from, and my subscribers have been cut in half. That happened like over a week. And, you know, Dr. David Samadi or something like that, had an interesting tweet. He talked about all the deaths in America, and we've gradually, from 2010 to 2019, gradually gone from 2.5 million per year to 2.9 million. I think a lot of that is America is getting older, and we're getting more people. But this year, as of November, the end of November, we're at 2.5 million. Where is the surge in deaths? And when was the last time you heard of somebody getting the flu? I said this in an earlier video. Typically every year we lose between, what is it? I think it's like 35 to 80 million. I mean, 80,000 a year in flu. 2020, that death rate was almost zero. And unlike the coronavirus, the flu does kill the young and the healthy. Um, it's just not there. And if these idiot governors, these 5 Democratic governors, hadn't put people back in nursing homes against the advice of their medical professions, follow the science, our death rate would be much lower than what it is. That's where people really got sick. And as I said earlier, many of these people were so sick, and I'm not trying to be morbid. I'm not trying, if you lost somebody on this, I apologize. And I feel for you. But these were people that were so sick that they were going to be dead in a couple months anyway. You can tell when something's not right. Let me tell you, the left is like a book. It's like watching a soap opera. You can leave it for a year, come back, start watching again, and get caught up in a matter of days. And the left is like that because they're so predictable. And when the media is silencing doctors, big tech is silencing people, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. What if this is really the scourge of in history that it is? Why is the need to censor people? Somebody please explain that to me. I would think you would want to get all the information out there in the world. And then why do we constantly catch these people making these edicts or getting on TV preaching to us about what we should be doing? And as soon as they think they're off camera or they're safe, they're out, be bouncing around, not wearing a mask. You know what was funny? Um, somebody, I think it was on Facebook. I don't know. Somebody wrote something to my wife, And I didn't know this, and we were talking about it today driving into town, that Galvin Newsom owns a winery in Napa. And um, they'd closed all the wineries down. But when this lady called to make reservations for Gavin Newsom's winery, they took to her reservation. So they've closed all these other wineries down, but his is still open. Go figure on that one. And we all know about the dinner and stuff like that, and the trip to Hawaii, and Dianne Feinstein walking through the airport, Nancy Pelosi getting her hair cut. They're not afraid of it. Chris Cuomo, after preaching to us on TV, and then they just, when they're called out on it, they just blow you off. It's when I heard that Bill Gates Foundation funded a conference on the pandemic in October 2019, this was after this thing hit, my antennas went up big time. And something else that happened. The Pennsylvania legislature, against their constitution, now these are Republicans, mind you, started to put in a constitutional amendment in 2019, October of 2019, to allow mail-in ballots, because the Pennsylvania Constitution is very strict about who can request absentee ballots. Not everybody can. You have to give a reason, such as military service, or you're going to be out of the country on business, or whatever it may be. And then they realized that they couldn't get the constitutional amendment passed before this election. Now, mind you, these are Republicans. So they stopped the constitutional process, because in the constitutional process, the legislature has to approve it. They have to publish it in 2 newspapers in every county for 5-6 months, something like that. And then it has to go on the ballot. I think it has to go on the ballot twice. And I'm not sure if it has to get 2/3 or 50.1%, but so it wasn't going to be ready for the 2020 election. Now, this was in October of 2019, before we ever heard of coronavirus. Why were they in such a rush to get mail-in ballots during the 2020 election? And again, this was long before anybody ever mentioned the word coronavirus. Well, medical people do it because we get coronaviruses all the time. But the general public didn't know. There's something fishy with that one, boy, I tell you. Something real fishy with that one. I think that's a telltale sign. Because there was no reason, just out of the blue, they felt they had to rush to increase mail-in ballots, directly opposed to their state constitution, in time for the 2020 election, before anybody knew any of this stuff was going to happen. Sounds pretty fishy to me. I think this is all just a little ploy. That's what I think. All right. You all have a good day. Bye.